start the proceedings with, well, I remember that you said that you love Pinot Noir. Mm-hmm. Now, as people know on this podcast, I never really just give a straight, if someone says I like Chablis, they're never ever going to get a Chablis. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to give you a Pinot Noir, but I am going to give you something similar to a Pinot Noir, which I think is as exciting and just something a little bit different to try.
Okay.
So we are actually going to Italy. And you could serve this red wine slightly chilled. It is quite a hot day. So I could have put this in the fridge for maybe 20 minutes. I don't know if you're a fan of chilled reds.
Yeah, I do like it, yeah.
Well, what I love about this wine is like a Pinot. Well, cheers, by the way.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you so much for coming.
No, it's beautiful. Yeah, I love a Pinot. I know this isn't Pinot, but I think with Pinot Noirs, they're just easy to drink. And I think often
fruity,
you can get
juicy,
Bordeaux can sometimes be too heavy or too light or whatever it be, whereas a Pinot Noir is generally a very good drinking wine. And like you said, it's not too expensive.
It's not too expensive. And because this is not a Pinot, because Pinot can be expensive if you get it from Burgundy, but if you go something off-piste, and I'm now transporting you to Italy, to the hilly, mountainous terrain of the Dolomites.
Yes.
And I know that you love Italy too.
We do, yeah.
I could have given you a Pinot Nero from there, but I wouldn't do that because, again, that's too similar. What do you think of this wine?
It's lovely, yeah, very fruity. And actually, Dolomites is very fitting with us at the moment. We're speaking about trying to go on holiday to those type of places. You see it on social media, you see it on Instagram.
I want to go so
and how fresh it
badly.
looks. You've got the cold water lakes, that kind of health stuff. And I think now people want more than just going to go sit on a beach, don't they, on a holiday.
Yeah.
They want to be a little bit more active. We've got a child on the way or very soon.
Congratulations, by the way. And thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
And maybe even happening while we're filming. So I don't think that'll go down
it's all
well.
about adding extra excitement.
Yeah, so I've got a phone ready. So if I have to run off halfway through, you know where I've gone. So yeah, to experience an Italian wine and with Camilla singing, and I think with Italy as well, it's always a brilliant place. Whenever we used to go play there with England or club games or anything like that, the post-match stuff was almost as important as the game.
Really? So that's a very cultural thing.
It is proper, like banquet styles. The food would come out similar to all this, and the wines, and they celebrate whether they win or lose. They celebrate as hard with the bands, the wine, and it's an incredible experience.
Would you say it's probably for post-match celebrations, would Italy then be one of your favourite places?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, they're France and Argentina, actually, because they put so much emphasis on that side of it. Whereas
what happens in England?
In England, and like a lot of the other countries, you go to a pretty sterile boardroom, not boardroom, but a banquet kind of place. You all kind of sit on your round tables. It's all quite sterile. There is some kind of house wine and stuff like that. But over there, they have the bands playing. And it's a proper party, and normally you play in the evening as well in those kind of places. So then, because it's a bit warmer. So then by the time the party comes, and hopefully you won as well, which always helps.
That's so lovely. I'm just disappointed in England. I think you should
need to get in there.
I need to get in there. Maybe
there?
you and I should have a conversation after this.
And I mean, they have some fantastic sponsors. They're sponsored by Bollinger and all that.
Yeah.
So if you are a player of the game, you get a bottle of Bollinger champagne, which is always a nice touch. So you hope you get something after the game. So yeah, they must have some good ones there as well.
We'll work on this. Watch this space. Well, I'm going to put you out of your misery because I'm sure you're dying to know what's in your glass. This is actually that not so well-known grape, Marzemino.
Okay.
And Marzemino is very, very similar to Pinot Noir in terms of being light, bright, juicy, brambly, like lovely bright acidity there, but still full of fruit and intensity. And I think why it does so well in Trentino up in the Dolomites is because you get lots of sunshine during the day. And then at nighttime, it gets very cool because of the mountainous aspect. So it preserves that real purity of fruit. And as I said, because it's actually not very, even though it's quite intense in terms of berryness, and you kind of get a sandalwood spice. I quite like the kind of spiciness you get too from the mountains. Because it's not very high in alcohol, I think it's only 12.5%, but it's also quite perfumed, quite fruity. I think it's got the perfect attributes to a chilled red. So if you did want to have it at a summer barbecue, just shove it in the fridge for 20 minutes.
And I think also it's a beautiful bottle, which, and they say don't kind of buy books by its cover and all that kind of stuff, but I'm definitely the opposite. If a book has a fantastic cover or a bottle of wine has a good cover, that draws me straight in.
Well, it makes it memorable. And so this, because I remember you saying that you were near a kind of Sainsbury's. This is actually the Taste the Difference Marzemino Trentino, which, as you're right, has a lovely bottle. I actually saw today that it was on offer. Normally it's £10, which is still fantastic value, I think. But now it's actually on offer for And I also chose it, I have to get this operatic reference in. I know that your wife Camilla is an amazing, amazing opera singer. And this grape was Mozart's favorite grape, so much so that he actually wrote it into his Don Giovanni opera. And this is used, so I just have to do this.
You're going to sing?
Well, I would never do that, but even I have limits. But it's basically just before his deliverance to hell, Don Giovanni calls out for a glass of Marzemino, saying, "Versa il vino, eccellente Marzemino." Anyway.
That wasn't bad.
I just had to get that in there. I mean, yeah, probably Camilla would be cringing if she saw that, and her Italian would be much better than mine. But I just thought with the music reference to, I just had to get that in there.